Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I could have your attention, we'll get our meeting called to order. It's good to see all of you this evening on this beautiful Monday, May evening in Tifton, Georgia. I do want to remind you that there are a couple of things, that there are agendas on the podium here, so you're welcome to grab one if you'd like to and follow along with the activities that are going on. The meeting tonight is what's called a workshop meeting. We have 2 meetings a month. The first Monday of the month is the workshop where we have an agenda and we only discuss the items that are on that agenda. We will not be voting tonight on any item other than the approval of the agenda. Our what we call regular council meeting happens on the 3rd Monday of each month, and that's when we actually vote on the items that we've discussed at the workshop or at previous workshops if we've delayed certain actions. So I didn't want you to be confused that we weren't voting tonight. So tonight is a time to receive and share information, that the council can ask questions concerning the items that are on the agenda. Normally at our workshop, we don't take public comment, but I've been told that there may be some people here who wanted to make public comment. Is there anyone here who did want to make public comments this evening, or were you here, you did want to make public comment? Okay, I'm going to ask my council members because it's out of order for what we normally do, if they're okay with that. Gentlemen, are you okay with those public? Okay, so what we'll do, we've got a couple of items that we'll do. We'll get to the through the presentations on the agenda, which is right at the top, and then once we get to that point, we'll do public comment. So I'll need, when we approve the agenda, gentlemen, if you'll make the motion with that change to the agenda so that we're in compliance with everything. Was there anyone else that wanted to speak publicly? Just want to make sure we want to give everyone the opportunity. Okay. All right. Let me make a note here.
Send an email to her.
All right, gentlemen, we've called our meeting to order, and so you have the agenda before you. I've asked for that one change to be made for public comment. So I'll take a motion concerning the agenda. Okay, thank you.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that does pass. All right, I've got a couple of presentations, and then we're going to call on Dr. Tanya Tift, who also has a presentation. So I'm going to come down in front of the table, and our first presentation is the proclamation for foster care and foster family recognition month. Our second presentation is a proclamation recognizing Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm going to ask the folks who are here for the foster care and foster family recognition to join me down front, in front of the table, if you will. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I understand you've got some information too that you're going to be presenting.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
all right, what we'll do is we'll do the presentation for the proclamation.
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
Okay, perfect.
Couple of things I need to remind everybody about as we do this. Let me get this microphone. This microphone is not for projection of my voice here, but we do have cameras that are back here in the back of the room. We do put all of our meetings on our YouTube channel, so if you ever want to know what's going on with your city council and you can't come and be in person at a 5:30 meeting, you can find us on YouTube. All of the meetings do stay there, and you can go back as far as you want to go to review any information. They're also available on our website, so that's why we come down here to do those presentations. So I know it feels like you're backwards to the council, but we want to make sure we get you on camera. So this proclamation, and like I said, is for Foster Care and Foster Family Recognition Month. And our proclamation says, whereas families are the primary source of love, identity, self-esteem, and support for children and youth, and they are the foundation for our communities. And whereas foster parents play an incredibly important role in supporting biological parents and helping them enhance their relationship with their children to achieve family stability and maintain family connections and support of family reunification. And whereas there are over 423,000 youth in foster care across our nation, and foster families open their homes to provide a stable, nurturing environment for our youth to thrive. And whereas currently Tift County has approximately 90 children in foster care, and nearly 15 families are certified to provide caring, safe, and nurturing homes for those in foster care. And whereas we have a responsibility as individuals, neighbors, community members, and residents to recognize that all children need love, support, security, and a place to call home. Whereas during National Foster Care Month, we celebrate all of those who have invited a child into their hearts and homes and express our profound appreciation for those who make foster care possible. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Julie Smith, on behalf of the City of Tifton and the Tifton City Council, hereby proclaim May 2024 as Foster Care and Foster Family Recognition Month, and urge all residents to volunteer their time and talents on behalf of children in foster care and to celebrate the commitment of foster families, community volunteers of CASA, nonprofits, and professional staff who work to ensure these children experience a fulfilling life. I have signed it. Our city clerk, Jessica White, has signed it. It does have the City of Tifton official seal, so that makes it official. So let me present this to you, and then I'm going to turn the floor over to you and let you make your presentation. So congratulations.
Thank you. If you've never heard of Coastal Plain CASA, we are court-appointed special advocates, so we train local volunteers to advocate on behalf of children in foster care. Our jurisdiction is Tift, Turner, Irwin, and Worth counties, but I had some stats about Tift. So far right now, we have 42 CASA volunteers in total. 29 of those volunteers are from Tifton. We advocate for 82 kids. So there's 90 kids in care. We advocate for 82. 49 are from Tift County. So we still are in need of some volunteers. We have a training. We're actually going through training right now. We have 6 new potential volunteers who are going to be sworn in the next 2 weeks. And then we have more trainings coming up. So make sure that you follow us on Facebook, or we do a lot of TikTok silly videos just to get those announcements if you're interested in that. And take this one off. So I have an award to give away, and it is called our Betty Rifen Child Welfare World Changer Award. And this man has never met me before, but he does work alongside our advocacy coordinator, Cindy Shaw. And they do MDTs together, and so this award goes to community leaders who are basically rocking it at helping prevent child abuse. So, with that being said, let me get this out really fast. And I'm really bad about breaking these things, so I'm going to be very careful. I've broken many. Okay, so this award goes to Lieutenant Chris Lucky. I know you've never met me. I just found out who you are. But this is from our advocacy coordinator, Cindy Shaw, who works alongside of you with the MDTs and on some cases. She says Lieutenant Lucky is a very important part of Tift County's fight against child abuse. He is relentless in his efforts to make sure that our children are safe and that perpetrators are brought to justice. We appreciate all that he does to make sure Tift County's children are safe and secure. So if you will come up so I can present this to you, Lieutenant Lucky.
I just want to tell everybody, this is totally, number one, me and the chief's gonna have a talk with Marcus. He's had me in a tizzy today about everything. So, and clearly,
Right? You were ordered here, right?
I was told at 8:59 Friday night I need to be at the council meeting, and I just said okay, because when your boss tells you something, you just do it, right? And I'm worried all weekend, like, what have I done? And then my staff back there, my detective division, was acting funny today. And then, I don't know what's going on. But I will say that this is very shocking, but I appreciate it. But I can't do this without that group back there. So, and the support that I have from City Council, the chief, everybody that's behind it. So it's not just me, it's a whole team.
Absolutely.
But I do thank you for the recognition, and I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, and I'm honored.
I know Lucky's personally, and they are some of the finest people that live in this community. They are caring and compassionate, and these folks back here that have to put up with you during that, they are wonderful too. So thank you to all of our Tifton Police Department for the work that you do all of you are involved in helping children in some way or another, and I thank you for that, and I know this council thanks you for that. But Chris, we're very proud of you. I'm very thankful that you're here and part of the city of Tifton, so keep up that good work. Thank you for sharing him with us, too. Thank you for that. All right, we have more good news that's coming up. I'd like to invite all of the folks who are with us for the Mental Health Awareness Month to come and join me, if you would. It's so nice to have all of you with us this afternoon. Very nice to have you all. And kind of the same process. I'll read the proclamation, then I'll present it to you, and then if one of you as a spokesperson would like to kind of share a little bit about what you do and why this is so important, I'll turn the floor over to you, and that's what we'll do. So, all right, let me get my glasses on so I can see my letters here. So this proclamation is for Mental Health Awareness Month. And it says, whereas there is a proven connection between good mental health and overall personal health, and whereas mental illness affects almost every family in America, and millions of adults and children are disabled by mental illness every year, and whereas people living with mental illnesses can recover if given the necessary services and support in their communities, and whereas fewer than 1/3 of adults and 1/2 of children have a diagnosable mental disorder do receive mental health services in a given year, and whereas many people who would benefit from mental health services avoid seeking help due to the stigma and the fear of discrimination, and whereas research shows that the most effective way to reduce stigma is through personal contact with someone with a mental illness, and whereas good mental health is critical to the well-being of our families, communities, schools, and businesses, and whereas greater public awareness about mental illnesses can change negative attitudes and behaviors toward people with mental illnesses. Now, therefore, I, Julie Smith, Mayor of the City of Tifton, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month. I further call upon our community to commit to increasing the awareness and understanding of mental illnesses, reduce stigma and discrimination, and promote appropriate and accessible services for all people living with mental illnesses. And I have signed it, and again, Jessica has signed it, our clerk, and the city seal is there. So who would like to receive this official certificate? Would that be you? Okay, Stephanie, thank you. And I'm going to let you say a few words about the good work that you do. So.
Okay. Well, I'm Stephanie, and I'm from Legacy, and we are one of the mental health providers for the state of Georgia. We are here locally in Tifton, and one of the biggest parts of what we do is working with our community to reduce stigma, to increase access to services, and so we are very proud of what we've been able to accomplish so far. We work with our community partners, not just Legacy, but Tift Regional and the other providers in our area to meet the needs of adults and children with mental illness. We talk a lot about mental wellness as well because that's what keeps us on the road to recovery. So we are very grateful to the City of Tifton and to our partners. So DBH. And yes, DBHDD, thank you so much, I'm sorry. But it's you guys supporting us, supporting your community. So we thank you very much for that.
We appreciate the work that you do. And just a personal note, if you have any connection with our legislators, with Congress, with the people who are making decisions about facilities, about funding, please encourage them to do so. Mental health is so very important. It's the key to everything. And when there aren't resources available, when there's nowhere to go if someone's in crisis, when there's no facility or they have to be transported 100 miles away, it makes it so challenging. So please encourage your legislators, please encourage your congressmen to support mental health and support the resources that we so desperately need, especially in South Georgia. So thank you for being a part of those resources, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that those improve and increase. So thank you for the work you do.
All right, Dr. Tift.
I'm going to turn the floor over to you. I think everyone knows Dr. Tanya Tift. She is the executive director of our urban redevelopment organization, and she wears a lot of hats, and she does a great job. So, Tanya, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. So I stood before council back in December just to kind of give a state of the union, if you will, of the URA and of course the Bateman Youth Center. And I was just kind of talking about just a wish list. I said, you know, I would love to start a scholarship, an endowment in memory of Coach Bateman. And so I just said, I just wish that I could do it, and didn't know how I was going to do it, but you know, it was just a thought. And so later on that week, so that was a Monday night, so later on that week, like Thursday, I saw it. I didn't realize that it was Councilman Franks was sitting right there. I remember exactly where you were sitting, and you said that you heard the presentation, and then after that meeting, you made a phone call to, of course, Josh Pope, and then, you know, the wheels just kind of got turned. I said, well, you just call him and tell him I'm on the way as soon as I leave here. And that's exactly what he did. And when I pulled up in the driveway, he was there waiting for me. So I am just so excited. You know, it just never ceases to amaze me, the things that we just try to do at the youth center. And so I, you know, sought out this thing, you know, and had some help to create some criteria and had a committee to read the, of course, the scholarship applications. We received 14 of those applications. And I will tell you that, you know, I'm used to doing it the old-fashioned way, going out and just asking for a donation. Remember, my motto is always, if I call, answer the phone and say what?
Yes.
Yes. That's it. Just say yes, because if I'm calling you for something good, and I just need you just to say yes, because it's for a good cause. And so I am not used to having tournaments and things of that sort, so I've kind of beat the bushes a little bit. And so, of course, I got Josh to help me some, and I got Christina Brown of Friendly City Pharmacy to help me, and Mr. Joey Marta, the bowling alley. Those are just my few first donors, and I've got people that have pledged because I don't want this to die. And as you can see, I want to just show you this. I have several spaces. So I don't intend for this to die, okay? We're gonna add names for years and years and years, and we wanna add plaques. So as we were looking at these 14 applications, I didn't want to score any of them because out of those 14 students, I probably knew about 9 of them, but I thought, yeah, you know, man, I can see this person is probably gonna be number 1, number 2. And sure enough, the committee came back with exactly what I thought. And so I'm so excited to honor our first recipient of the Anthony G. Bateman Youth Center Scholarship. This young lady will be graduating next Saturday, the 18th, as a Superior Honor student. She is a member of the first youth council that Tift County has. I have seen her firsthand volunteer at the Special Olympics, so I know this is not fake stuff that I was reading on or that I was just peeping at on the application. This is the real deal, and she is the real deal, and she was just crowned our prom queen. So I'm just telling you, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And then just a week before last, she came and she spoke to the students at the youth center and talked about the importance of working hard and how hard work pays off, and that you could be in that position. So she calls me to go and spend a little money, yay. So I just want to bring up Emily Richards. She's here with her parents tonight. And again, we want to thank our first donors. I do have others that have pledged. I'm not going to name them at this time, but these 3 people, of course, the Popes, of course, Mr. Marta, and of course, Miss Brown. Of course, her dad is my classmate. And so, you know, I'm just so thankful for them and for just, you know, getting it started. And we have money for next year. And so the stress won't be, I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know how, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to get that $1,000 because I was going to give it away. I meant that. Okay? And so thank you. So Emily, come on. I want to show you this first of all. This is going to be a perpetual plaque. It's beautiful. And you are the first person. And she encouraged the students. Stand this way. Stand right. There you go, baby. She is the first person that is named on this plaque. And we talked to the students about this when she came to talk to them. And she encouraged them to join her to be named on this plaque. I'm just telling you, hearing it from a student, that just makes it all the better, right? So this will hang, probably, Coach, I was kind of playing with it a little bit this morning. It will probably hang close to Coach Bateman's saying. And so this will, of course, be enshrined forever. Your name is the #1 spot, and we hope to add many, many plaques like this. And I didn't want you to go empty-handed. So I got you a small plaque that says, the Anthony G. Bateman Youth Center Scholarship presented to Emily Richards 2024. There you go, that's a keepsake. And then for the money. I bought this check that I'll be able to use forever and ever and ever and amen. So Emily is going to be presented with $1,000. She's going to Kennesaw State University in the Atlanta, Georgia, where she's going to be majoring in marketing. So, Mr. Pope, I'll get with Christina, Mr. Martin, and see if you all need anybody to help with marketing, because she is going to be the one, our future person in marketing. Even if you need a little help, okay, let her come on to the team, okay? Okay? All right, so this is your check. And of course, yes, so $1,000 is being presented to you, and we'll take care of all of the details of that. So this check will forever and ever, but she's the first person on the check, and I'm so super excited to award her with this. I'm so proud of you, and I know that you're going to go and do great things. And I look for you to come back, like you always will, to do, to serve the years. So really, thank you all for allowing us to do this. She is just a I want her parents to come up and take a picture with her. I don't want to hog the show, but you know, I've been threatened by the law enforcement back there to be fast in my conversation. One day, look, I just turned my head and kept on walking. All right, thank you.
As you can tell, Dr. Tift is so shy and reserved. She's amazing. She does incredible work with our Urban Redevelopment Agency and our Youth Council, and Hillary Culpepper also works with our Youth Council and the Bateman Youth Center. The work that's being done there is just phenomenal. And Michael, thank you for reaching out to Josh and asking for that. That's what makes these events so special, is it's everybody contributing and helping. And when we help the youth of this community, that's a very good day's work. So thank you very much, and good luck with everything, Emily. All right, we did amend our agenda to include public comments. So I'll let you, if you will, come to the podium. Normally, we have a sign-in sheet where you'd write your name and your address. So if you don't mind, if you'll state your name, your address, and then we give each speaker up to 5 minutes. So you'll have up to 5 minutes. There are rules of decorum that are on the back of the agenda. If you need to review those, basically just do it. Are you both speaking on the same topic? Yeah, just 5 minutes. What we usually do, we have multiple people. We ask for you to kind of pick a spokesperson, or you can split your time however you want to do it. Jessica's our official timekeeper, so again, just state your name, your address, and then the floor is yours. And just address your comments to the council.
Steve Barrow from Tifton, Georgia. I live on 38th Street. And we've reached a kind of an important, but it's turned into a critical issue with zoning on the street. We've been in touch through emails for a year, a little over a year. The situation is kind of, to me, turned critical. The zoning, when we first spoke, 2 houses on one lot. It was grandfathered in. Everywhere else was 1 house on each lot. Understood the grandfathering in the zoning R12, R14, whatever it is. Now we've been told, well, we were stated by you and others that we would be held to a criteria for the neighborhood as far as what it looks, you know, how the houses look and all, and it appears we're not in that area right now. So we found out recently that there's going to be 3 houses. We saw the 3rd lot come up within the last 10 days. We were told 10 days ago there were only going to be 2 houses. Now we're told there's going to be 3 houses, and we're told that there was no variance. We checked in to see if there was a variance done for a change or anything. There was no change done. No change was required because the minimum lot size was 14,000 each for 3 homes. Does that sound like it makes sense?
I don't have the
Okay.
actual zoning in front of me, so I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, the lot size is not 42,000 square foot. It's only 38,000 square foot. So we're short at least 3,000 or more square foot.
2,800.
Okay. And anyway, we were told today, we've been dealing with zoning and planning. We had other neighbors who want to be here. They're dealing with sicknesses, couldn't be here. But we wanted to come in and step in before it's too late. We wanted to speak a grievance that the plan that the city has approved is not right for the neighborhood. Okay? There's 3 houses, one of them, I don't know the legal issues on it, but I've read the zoning, the past, and I know that there was changes made last year. maybe some amendments or something to add on or whatever. But right now, we're looking at 3 lots going, 3 houses on 1 lot.
Okay,
And the lot size is only 38,000.
okay, let me ask you a question. I received an email that you're an attorney, is that?
No, we don't have an attorney.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if you're an attorney, then I need to turn this over to our city attorney, and then we can't have a further
So that's
conversation.
where it's gotta go.
No, I'm just asking, I was told that you had secured an
Who told you
attorney.
that?
That was, your wife, I think, called on Friday.
I called so many people and I did say, is that what I need to, I did not say, I did not threaten, but we are being told non-truths, this is basic math, I didn't adjust it, you guys did. So there are overground utilities now in a 4-block radius where there's only underground. This man has put up above-ground utilities. He has poured 3 homes on a lot that barely would get you 2. He is not adhering to the neighborhood. You said it would enhance, not detract. It is very detracting. It looks like the surface is going
That was
down.
the word that came from you and
Right.
from planning.
But-
But
And
how did that
zoning.
happen? How did that happen?
Okay, you're talking about two, one is zoning, that's how the land can be used. And
He
it's
is
my,
against the zoning as we.
ma'am, I'm speaking, and I'm not gonna tolerate being, you being
Absolutely,
rude.
excuse me.
Thank you. If you'll read your rules of decorum, when you're in this building and you're in this room and you're in this
Well,
meeting,
maybe you should
we are
read your
respect, I'm gonna
bylaws.
ask you to be removed.
Okay, of course you would.
Steve, would you please ask?
You stay.
Yeah, you stay, sir.
You stay.
No, stay. If you'd like to talk about it, we'll talk about it.
Your rulings that are on the books, okay.
I have to name-
Steve, I'm gonna ask you to stay. I'm not gonna talk over somebody like that, and let me explain some things, and let me comment on some things, and we're gonna look into this for you. But I'm not gonna be talked to that way, nor allow this council, nor this staff to be talked to that way.
You just don't want anybody to talk back, is that what it is?
No, sir, you're talking back right now. If you'll read your rules of
Is that
decorum,
what it is?
we are courteous and respectful in this room. Would you like
I
for me,
have
would you
neighbors-
like,
I've had neighbors stop by and told me, don't go down there because it's not gonna do any good.
if you would like for me to share with you what I'd like to share with you, I'll be glad to. But none of us are going to be treated disrespectfully.
We've had plenty of times on emails, you've shared plenty with me
I
on
have,
emails, and
and
none
I'm-
of that is panned out.
I'm trying to explain to you
Okay.
what is going on.
Okay.
There are 2 different situations. You have zoning,
Yeah.
which is what allows for how that land can be used. How many square feet you referenced, and I don't have the zoning stuff in
Single
front of me.
family dwelling.
This lot, from what I understand, is grandfathered, and there can be more than one dwelling on that
So
lot.
grandfather means what?
It
Whatever
means
you
that
allow.
once zoning was placed in your neighborhood, this lot, for whatever reason, and it's my understanding this was years ago, long before any of our time, so I don't have the specifics of the conversations, but this lot was set aside for some reason and was not rezoned for single
It
family.
was bought by the landowner,
I
right across the
stop her,
street.
'cause that's
They
not
bought
what
the
she
house
said.
and they bought the lot next door to keep for the kids to play on.
I would like to add, a few months ago, the developer did come and have that lot platted into three different
Okay,
lots, and it did meet our standards. And it
Okay.
was sent to the county for reporting of the deed.
okay.
I've lived there for 20 years. I know the people that own the lot.
I don't know why that lot was, like I said, none of us were here. That was many, many years ago. I'm just telling you the facts that I know that I've been told and shared with our community development department. So you have zoning, which is how the land can be used. We did approve design standards. That was passed, and I don't know, Rob, do you remember maybe a year or 2 or 3? 3 years ago. It's let's say in the last 3 years. Design standards are what that property looks like on that lot. You have the zoning, which dictates how the lot can be used, and then you have design standards with whatever you're building, whether it's a commercial building, a house, whatever, how it needs to look. We don't dictate things like utilities. It's between the developer and the power company or the utility company, whether it's cable or electricity or whatever it
It's
is.
cheaper for the contractor to put in overhead
Right.
utilities than it is underground.
That's right, but
But
we
you
don't
have any.
require that. That's not a requirement within our ordinance.
So the part about we'll make sure that they add to the neighborhood, not detract from it.
That's how the house looks. That has nothing to do with where the utilities are. That's how the house or the building looks. So you have zoning, but we don't dictate where utilities go. There are many neighborhoods
Okay,
in
well,
this.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So what about the minimum lot size then?
That I'd have to check on our zoning. If it meets the zoning, and again, this lot is an anomaly in an area that is single-family residential, and I don't know why it was left out, but it was, for whatever reason. And because this lot was permitted to be divided up this way, we had no reason to tell the developer that he could not do that. And when you and I were first talking back in 2022, that developer was Vernon Willis, a local builder who was going to build 2 houses there. And then Vernon sold that lot, which he had the right to do, so I believe it's Jonathan Garvey, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then Jonathan's the one that made the decision.
How come that hasn't been updated in the records?
We don't keep those land, that's all kept by the county. Now, it's in our records because he has to come and apply for it. But if you go on Q Public or something, is that talking about something like that where you can go find who owns the property?
Yeah.
Yeah, those records aren't updated by us, that's updated by our county.
But they usually update pretty quick.
Yeah, they should be.
So that's what I'm saying, all this has happened, there were 2 houses up until 10 days ago, now there's a 3rd house, and we were told just within the past 24 hours that the minimum lot size had to be 14,000 square foot per home.
Okay, and
That's
that I don't know.
42,000 square foot, and the lot size is only 38 something.
Okay, well, if you will give me the opportunity to check on that. I was hoping Loretta Hilton, who is over our planning and zoning, would be here this evening, but she's not. Normally, we don't have public comment, and she didn't have anything on the agenda, so she wasn't required to be here. If you'll let me get with her tomorrow and let me just verify everything and check everything and see what records she has as far as lot size or ownership or, whatever's happening, because I don't know, then I can call you or email you tomorrow and let you know.
Okay, well, you have my email.
Okay, I can email. I'll be happy to do that. Okay? All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward. This is in your district. Are you good with that, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think the question at hand is how the 3rd house come about.
Yeah, that's what we'll need to
And that's,
get with
and that's where the
Loretta.
frustration's coming in.
When a developer chooses to split a lot, they have to meet our standards. This was done actually before Crystal left us. It was looked at, they were on-site measuring. So that's kind of the background of it. And it was reported as 3 lots with the county. And Q Public's usually not the fastest to update. I know firsthand we have issues and sometimes we have to call.
Yeah, I just think if we have the number,
They update yearly.
Yearly?
Yeah.
It's not very often.
Yeah, so it'll be like January next year when they update.
And then, and they're dependent upon the county tax office for that information. So sometimes things can change hands a couple of times within a year, and it doesn't catch up for a while.
yeah.
But I'll welcome comments from.
No, I just think that, if we need numbers, if Dr. Tate's approved, because he's throwing out 42, and then the number 38 coming in, we just need to have something set, something, hey, this is a lot size, hey, he met everything he's supposed to meet, so he can do this, or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I understand the frustration in the neighborhood. If I've been told, hey, there's only going to be 2 houses here, then all of a sudden you see a 3rd slab, well, of course, people are going to be a little outraged and want answers, and I think they're deserving of those answers.
And I can have our IT department pull all emails. I believe that information has already been shared, so we can get that forward to you.
Good.
Okay, all right, any other comments?
Thank you. And,
Oh, okay, I didn't realize someone else wanted to speak, I'm sorry. Did y'all want to speak this evening?
Yes.
Okay. If you'll just come up to the podium, were you speaking on the same situation or is it a different situation? Same situation? Okay. Did you want, was there any comment that you, if you'll just come up to the podium, normally we just have,
whatever you want to speak on.
yeah, just come up here and if you'll state your name and your address.
I'm Louise Hill, and I'm speaking on behalf of Arnold Road. I'm trying to get some speed bumps, which they did put some parallel in the road, but we need some speed bumps that are gonna go across the road to slow the traffic down because they're coming through there. I mean, when I say speed.
Mhm.
And, we've been trying, you know, for several years to try to get some speed bumps to go across the road.
Okay. It's been in the past, the policy of the city not to install speed bumps because of the liability on cars that are real low to the ground. They can't get, whether they're speeding or not, they can't get over, so it tears up the bottom of their car. So I don't know if speed bumps is an option or if there could be some other remedy, Emily, to deal with the,
Yes, ma'am. I can tell you, myself as well as ESG operations are exploring a few options.
Okay.
That could be a low impact, something that is probably not permanent.
okay,
However, we can take it up if need be.
Right.
If liability becomes an issue.
okay. So that might be an option. It's not a permanent speed bump that's like a concrete that you see in some places, but something that's more of a rubberized that could be moved.
Okay, well, you know, I've been out in the county ride,
Mhm.
and there are speed bumps that they have installed, recently. Is that a liability to people
And I-
cars as well?
That's the county.
Yeah,
I know it's the county, but low cars go across that, do you have liability?
yeah, and I think
I wouldn't know that.
that's actually, I've seen the ones in the county, and that's probably similar to what we're talking about. They are rubberized.
Yeah, it's a
That's-
rubberized.
that's
It's
what we
not,
probably
it's not a
talking about.
concrete.
It's,
Okay, well, yeah,
yeah, it's
anything
stationary.
that, you know, anything that
Yes,
will
ma'am.
slow down, you know.
Mhm.
Because it's, I'm Roger Kinley, 838 as well. Because it's really is getting it out of the hand of, you know, we could just be sitting in the yard. More kids are being in the neighborhood now, and I'm telling you, I could sit there for hours and just see at least 4 or 5 cars, even cop cars, you know, all the normal traffic. I mean, they go 60 and above down the road.
Wow, okay.
2 homes were actually a home that have been struck 3 times
Oh, goodness.
at the end of the road because of the speed. So, we're just really afraid that eventually someone's home or someone's child is gonna get struck.
Right, okay,
The houses are so, you know, they're close to the road,
right.
you know, so if they was to lose control, it's just.
Do we have your contact information? Do you have?
I do.
Okay,
I've been in
okay.
communication with Miss Henley, Miss Sister Henley as well, and, you know, I've been trying to work with
Sure.
her through the year.
Okay.
And that's why they're here today. They
Okay.
did decide to show up and
And
speak
we
on.
even greatly appreciate you for the little bit that you did do, but
Yeah.
I even see at the point with goals itself, even I've hit them a couple of times, they'll make you lose control more
Yeah.
than I even think the ones that we're trying to actually get, because the ones they already done started breaking up. And I'm thinking that'll cause more problem than actually the ones that we're trying to get, so, you know.
And they also, you know, they straddle, they go, you know, through them just like that. So.
Right,
And those were installed under previous administration. We've been pretty clear that they don't work. So give us a little bit of time as we explore some options to see what would be best for our community.
Okay.
yeah. So know that Emily, MJ, and our Public Works group is working on that for you.
And MJ has followed up with me in regards to this. So he's definitely doing his job for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw them here and I didn't
Yeah,
want them to.
yeah, thank you, I didn't realize, okay, thank you,
Yes,
yeah,
thank you.
okay, thank y'all so much.
All right, thank
Okay. All right, gentlemen, moving on through our agenda, our next item to discuss is the ordinance for reclassifying the zoning of 1040 Ferry Lake Road from mobile home park PDO, Plan Development Overlay, to just mobile home park as requested by Jay Zhang and Annie Yan of Redbird Mobile Home Park. I know we've talked about this. This was an item that we discussed a couple of months back, and we delayed to allow Mr. Zhang the opportunity to do some cleanup and work with our code enforcement. So, any comments, MJ? I know you've been out to see the property.
I did a ride along immediately after the first meeting with Dalton. And, it was pretty much in still somewhat bad shape, but I did do another ride through myself today. The mobile home park looks very, very clean. Yards are cut, things are picked up, and I saw Mr. Zhang himself out there walking the property, trying to make sure things are maintained. So we're looking to a promising situation come time to get vote in the next couple of
Okay,
weeks.
all right. Yeah, we, like I said, won't be voting on it tonight, but I do, encourage everybody to ride through.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of weeks since I've been through, so I'm gonna try to get through tomorrow, the next day. And, but I trust your commentary since this is in your district, so.
Like I say, the actual owner of the property was there today looking
Good.
around, and I hope he maintains that type of you know.
Okay. Any comments, Emily, as far as from our code department that was working with them?
I have been working very closely with code.
Mhm.
We see a huge difference. I myself
Good.
went out Friday and today to look
Okay.
at the property. There's a lot of improvements. The property owner is certainly trying.
Okay,
So
good.
I can say that, yes, it looks good.
Okay, all right. Any other questions, gentlemen, comments? Everybody good? Okay, all right, that sounds very, very positive. That's great, that's good. All right, under new business, I'm going to call on our fire chief, Bobby Bennett. He's going to talk to us about a resolution authorizing the surplus and sale of fire engine number 6.
Mayor, council, city manager, thank you for this time. It's just come time that this engine 6 is 34 years old. So it's been here a little bit longer than me, and it's older than the majority of the firefighters we have at the department. So that's saying it's met its need. I've rode many miles and many calls in that truck. So it's just time for us to get rid of it. Irwin County is in desperate need of fire apparatus. They can't afford what we can. We've been very blessed by y'all and city manager and finance to get us out of the hole that we were in, and we can no longer have to drive 34-year-old trucks. But our neighbor in the county, very good friends of mine live there and work there, and they're trying their best to get their department up where it needs to be. So we're recommending that we surplus this truck, sell it to Irwin County for $5,000. So I've gotten multiple companies I've talked to and asked them what it's worth. They said nothing. They said maybe $5,000 if you can get it. Irwin County said we'll write you a check today. So that's our recommendation, that we definitely lend a helping hand to our neighboring county.
Okay. Gentlemen, any questions of Chief Bennett? Good. Makes sense, I think.
Thank
Good
you.
job. All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to ask Emily to give us some information concerning a resolution appointing the city's voting delegates to MGAG, which is the Municipal Gas Authority of Georgia. So, Emily?
Thank you, Mayor. This is kind of routine paperwork. We had a voting delegate that was on there who is no longer employed with the city. And in speaking with you as a voting delegate, we have opted to kind of change it up on who would be voting with the Municipal Gas Authority of Georgia. This is for annual board elections. They do at their annual conference every year. We have a resolution that would name myself to be a voting delegate for MGAG, and then Adam Cobb from ESG Operations to be appointed as an alternative voting delegate.
Okay.
And
All
this
right.
was to remove yourself and Pete Krasinski.
Perfect. Okay. All right, any questions, gentlemen, on that? Sort of housekeeping and pretty standard stuff. So. All right, and Emily, you want to go ahead and talk about the review and consideration of an ordinance adding regulations for abandoned shopping carts?
Yes. I don't think it's news to anybody to ride around with the abandoned shopping carts in our town. This increases blight, the look of the city. It just does not look very well. I work with code enforcement on getting these shopping carts picked up around the community. A lot of times it's on private property, which makes it really difficult as we don't operate on private property. We try our best to stay off of private property, but it has become a major issue, especially with the vagrant issue that we have. So this is, before you, is an ordinance that we would like to adopt, and it is for shopping carts that are illegally removed from premises of businesses and left abandoned in a private or public property throughout the city. This causes a public nuisance. In return, code enforcement is called. Lots of times we have Ryland, who is our solid waste contractor, who is called to go pick those up. ESG Operations actually picks those up as well. The purpose of this is for the prompt retrieval of lost, stolen, or abandoned shopping carts in order to eliminate blight and to improve the image of the city. What we would ask for is a 90-day effective date where if this is adopted, all retailers in Tifton that has more than 10 shopping carts would have to provide a plan to code enforcement. This plan gives the owner and point of contact of information. So if we saw a Walmart shopping cart on the side of the road, we have a contact person with Walmart that we can call and ask them to pick their buggy up. And then the second thing, carts should be obviously maintained on their site. There's a few methods that they can use here. They can install disabling devices, change around the business, have personnel that gather in shopping carts. So if this is adopted, each retailer will have 90 days to submit a plan to the city. Any new development over 5,000 square feet or more than 10 shopping carts, they would have to give a cart retrieval plan prior to the building being CO for business. This would be enforced by code enforcement. And then the penalties for failure to submit or comply. Once we have that point of contact, if we were to call them to have them pick up their shopping cart, they have 24 hours to remove the cart. If they do not remove the cart within 24 hours, the city will put a recovery fee out for the buggy and charge $75 to the business as a fine for each shopping cart that we have to pick up and dispose of. And then failure of any business or business owner that is unable to give us a plan for retrieval could impose a fine up to $1,000, which would go through code enforcement. So this is really getting all of our retailers on board. This ordinance is not something that is new. The city of Savannah has it, many other neighboring towns has it, as they have seen an increase in the homeless population where a lot of the carts are being used. So we are hoping to kind of join forces with the other cities to help get this cleaned up.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Will all of the stores within, that would have shopping carts within Tift County be notified? What happens if it's and I'll just use Aldi, for example. Aldi is not in the city limits, but you wouldn't know that if you're driving down 82, but it's not. It's outside the city limits. So if an Aldi cart shows up down the road, is Aldi subject to this as well, even though they're not a city business, but their cart is in the city?
I would say that if your business is in the city, then you're going to be held to the ordinance.
Right.
Even if your cart might be found somewhere in the county.
But no, I'm asking the opposite, vice versa. If your store is in the county, is outside the city limits, but your shopping cart is found within the city limits, there's no enforcement there. Okay.
No, but there is a criminal statute in Georgia that makes it a crime to remove the shopping cart from the premises.
Okay. I didn't
So that's a
know
state
that.
law.
Yeah.
So it could be enforced, through the state law if you
Okay.
remove it from the premises.
So, I guess how many stores do we have with over 100 carts that's within the city other than probably Walmart and Bubba?
How many carts, how many
How
stores
many
have
stores,
10
do
or
we know
more
how many
carts?
stores it is that we have?
It's 10.
About
It's
10.
10 carts, yeah.
10 stores that actually have over 100 carts.
It's
How many
10
actually
carts.
businesses do we have
How
that
many
have?
businesses
Yeah.
have over 10 carts is what he does.
It's 10 carts, not 100 carts.
Well, I'm saying, I'm asking how many businesses do we know we have within the city?
Yeah, I don't know. We
Okay.
we hadn't.
We could
yeah,
pull it,
got
I
that
mean,
far.
with over 10 or over 100.
Over 10, over
I
what we
mean,
need.
that's gonna get everything at the mall, every Dollar General,
Mhm.
Family Dollar, I mean,
A
it's gonna
lot.
get,
But there are a lot of carts abandoned. If you drive down Hunt Road on any given day.
Yeah, and that's
it's
what,
behind-
yeah,
I mean,
that's what
there are lots of carts out there,
Yeah.
and people call and complain and want us to pick them up, which we do, at a cost, so,
Hopefully, the plan should be from these stores is taking remedial measures to make sure they don't get off of the off-site. So their plan should include something, I can't remember some of the techniques that you can use to keep them on your premises. So hopefully, if people have good plans, then we won't be winding up having a bunch of shopping carts outside of the.
well, just to give you it's my understanding, as we kind of talked through this, a plan might be something as simple as, and I'll just use Publix, for example, is making sure that every 10 to 15 minutes, a Publix employee is going out and collecting the carts that are in the holding bins as people unload their carts and put them in the bins. That's a plan, making sure that there's frequent checks of the parking lot to make sure that they're collected and brought in. So it doesn't have to be anything extensive.
Right.
Or they might, like Emily suggested, there are ways to secure with like a magnetic thing and where it disables a card after it gets so far from home.
Right.
So when I heard that the plan could be as simple as just checking the lot to make sure that the carts are collected and brought in, that shouldn't really, they should be doing that really anyway, so.
Aldi was on to something with their method.
Yeah, they were, weren't they? They
The
were.
thought behind
That quarter.
this is to not come in, I don't have enough personnel to police this, to be very
Yeah.
honest. But the thought is to take proactive measures, so these retailers know that it has become an issue within our community and we need their help to correct it.
Well, and it costs them money when their shopping cart, they're not cheap.
No, they're not.
When their carts disappear, they have to replace those carts, so it's at the cost to them. So if we can work together, hopefully it will be beneficial, not only to the retailers, but to the aesthetics of our community, to try to get some of these out off the rights of way where they're ending up. All right, any other information?
That's it.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Comments? Good, okay. All right, moving right along, we have our board report. And that's, we obviously won't be voting this evening, so, but you can see that there are some recommendations there. We have some openings on the library board, Tipton Housing Authority with some folks seeking reappointment, historic preservation, with folks seeking reappointment, and then Keep Tips Beautiful, we do have 2 vacancies. So, so you can look through those and see who those applicants are and if they've been, recommended by the particular board that they're applying to. Does anyone have any questions on those, any of those applicants or any of those boards? Jessica, any updates, anything changed other than what we have in our packet? Everything's still the same?
No, I'm still waiting on confirmation from the library board. I think
Okay.
they met today.
So nobody filled out, no, we don't have any applications for you.
Not anything
Oh.
active. No.
If y'all know of anybody who would be interested, ask them to call Jessica. It's a good board. They work with our recycling program. They keep this beautiful. That's what their role is. And,
What about Dr. Tanya too?
she's on.
yes.
So, yeah. Call her and see what
That's
she
right.
says. That's a good idea. But we do, I say this all the time when we're swearing in board members, we do depend upon our citizens and residents to help us with these boards. And it's so important that we have that community interaction. So if you know of anyone that you think would be a good Keep Tips Beautiful board member and be interested in that capacity, just ask them to call Jessica and we'll make sure that we get their name in the mix. Any questions, gentlemen, on that board report? Everybody good? Okay. All right, city manager report.
I just have 2 quick updates. I would like to update you on the Commerce Way project. We had a meeting last week, and given a few contractor delays, rain days, emergency calls from a utility contractor, we have extended the contract for the project anywhere from 2 to 3 months. We're waiting to hear back on a few small details that will impact if it's 2 months or 3 months. But Commerce Way is almost done, and then start moving into the alley. We were delayed there, unfortunately, and we will re-notify the business owners that are there on the exact date that they will start. Again, we're still waiting on some information on the new timeline.
Okay.
And then lastly, we have been bombarded with calls about recycling. This community loves recycling.
It is hard to put stuff in the garbage can when you're used to recycling. I can
I
tell you
can
that.
honestly say I did not know this community loves recycling as much as they do. We fielded multiple calls a day. Ryland has called. They are bombarded with phone calls. So we have started up recycling again rather sooner than later. The city will have our campaign that starts tomorrow. That recycling is back up, ready to go at Ryland's new location at 2508 Carpenter Road South. So you can take your recycling there and drop it off. It is a convenient drop-off center.
It is. I saw it today. It's the former Yancey Fence Company. It's secure. It's got all the space that they need. But the easiest way to tell you how to get there is just go to Carpenter Road by Lowe's and then make a left there, like you're going over to Highway 319, and it will be on your right, maybe half a mile on the right. Just past Tennyson Collision Center, right in that area. You'll see they've got signage up, so Rob's looking very confused.
I mean, I really.
I think that's his normal face to it.
I'm sitting there thinking, because I'm listening, because I got all my recycling
I know,
stored up
we
in my
do.
garage.
It's all piled
Go
up.
past Lowe's.
Well, I'm glad it's sooner rather than
South.
later, so that's good. That's good.
So we will have a social media campaign as well as updating our website. And
Perfect.
publicly, we just want to let everybody know we heard your voice and we understand the importance of this to you.
Thank you. All right, mayor and council comments. Gentlemen, any comments you'd like to
Start.
share this evening?
What were their names that showed up? The Henleys, is that correct?
Yep.
Henleys? I just want to make everybody just please be aware about your speed down these roads. I mean, I know you have that in your district, and I have it on 40th Street.
Yep.
You know, we've talked about rumble strips. I know some people don't like that word. We talked about speed bumps, have you, but everybody just please be mindful. We've got children in this community that like to play, and I know parents can't always be there every step of the way, but please be mindful of your speed. I mean, it's there for a reason. So.
Exactly. Good comment. Any other comments, gentlemen? We're so quiet. I have two things. I want to remind everybody that early voting is happening right now. It is so important that you go and vote. I went a few days ago. It takes about 2 seconds to run in there and get that done. And doesn't matter to me how you vote, just vote. It is your right and something that's very important. So don't forget early voting. And go ahead and get that out of the way while the lines are. I also want to go back to the beginning of the meeting with having a member of the audience move from the meeting. This is a serious place that we're in right now. This is the council chambers of the city of Tifton. This is where the business of this community is conducted. We have rules of decorum that are on every single agenda that is printed and placed at that podium. Now, sometimes they're on the back, and so you don't necessarily see them. When we have a shorter agenda and they can fit on the front, they're on the front. But I want to read those rules of decorum. It may have seemed that my actions were harsh, but I will not, for these gentlemen, for these staff members, these contractors, and the other members of the audience, tolerate disrespect within this room. Now, out on the sidewalk, we might duke it out and get into a fist fight and yell at each other or whatever. Not really, I'm kidding about that. But in this room, during this time, this is serious business. We are all adults, and we will behave as such. So let me just refresh the memory of everybody in here and for our viewing public, the rules of decorum for the public. And I also want to remind you, there was nowhere on this agenda that had public comment. We added that to accommodate the residents of this community, which we do often. So to say you can't come down here and speak is inaccurate and incorrect. You may not hear what you want to hear, but we will take your comments into consideration, and we will take them seriously, and we will allow you to speak and have a voice. This is a democracy, and we will be respectful and we will be courteous. So these are the rules of decorum for the public. We also have rules of decorum for each other. If you will give me a few extra minutes, I'm going to read all of them, just so everyone knows how we interact with each other and then how we interact with the public. The rules of decorum for the governing body state, and this was adopted by resolution by this council. Members of the governing body shall not use or make inappropriate, vulgar, and Rob, I never can pronounce this word, opprobrious, did I say that right?
That's close enough.
Okay, words, and basically offensive comments. Members shall maintain a civil and courteous manner and tone. Number 2, members of the governing body shall speak only to the matter currently under consideration by the mayor and the council. Number 3, during presentations, discussion, or debate, members of the governing body shall refrain from communicating among each other, giving attention and due respect for the speaker or the council member addressing the body. Number 4, while a member of the governing body has the floor, members of the council and members of the public shall not interrupt the speaker unless the speaker is ruled out of order. Members violating any of these rules of decorum may be ruled out of order by the mayor. I am the chief elected officer of this organization per the city charter, and these are my meetings to conduct as I see fit. And it's extremely important to me that these 4 gentlemen have the courtesy and respect that they deserve. An individual violating the rules of decorum may be removed from the meeting in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. Now, rules of decorum for the public, that's for anyone addressing the body as the council. Number 1, each speaker will be given 5 minutes to speak during the public comment period. And with Jessica as our city clerk, she's sort of the official record keeper, so I usually turn that over to her. Each speaker will direct his or her comments to the members of the governing body and not to any individual member or other individuals present unless a question is directed to him or her by a member of the governing body. Number 3, each speaker will refrain from personal attacks, foul or abusive language, and will maintain a civil and courteous manner and tone. Number 4, members of the audience will respect the rights of others and will not create a disturbance that will disrupt or disturb the meeting. Individuals violating any rules of decorum may be ruled out of order by the mayor. Any individual violating the rules of decorum may be removed from the meeting by the direction of the mayor, and that's what happened this evening. As long as you want to address this council in this room at these meetings, we'll treat each other with courtesy and respect, and that is no exception. So I hate that the situation escalated the way that it did. I acted in the manner that I felt was appropriate for the council. We will get back with Mr. Barrow and answer his questions. We didn't have the information that he was requesting, so couldn't share with him anything. But I just wanted to address that before we close. Do we need to go into executive session? No. Okay, we're good. All right, is there any other business to come before the council, gentlemen? No? You good? No. Y'all want to stay longer, or are you ready to adjourn? You ready to adjourn? Yeah. You sure? Okay, let's adjourn. We're adjourned. Thank you.